Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sat7 Canada virtual Gala telethon. We're so glad that you're with us here tonight. My name is George Glover, and I'm Executive Director of Sat7 Canada. And with us tonight is my colleague. I'm in London, Ontario, and Mark Kitzman is our full-time Director of External Relations. And together we're going to co-host this tonight. We hope you're going to learn a little bit more about who we are as a ministry and what we do. Mark, over to you for a couple of opening comments this evening.
Thank you, George. It is a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Just want to acknowledge that some of you here that are brand new to Sat7, you've perhaps been invited to come tonight to learn more about who Sat7 is and what we do. And we trust and hope you will be encouraged to know how lives are being impacted in the Middle East. And some of you joining us are longtime partners and friends, and we say welcome back. It's good to see you again, and we trust you'll be encouraged tonight to know how the way you've been investing with Sat7 is indeed changing lives in the Middle East. Throw it back to George to talk about the goal tonight.
Well, thanks, Mark. Our goal is to raise approximately $10,000 to grow our satellite impact, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the Middle East. And you're going to see in a moment here our little thermometer on the side of the screen here that gives you an indication of how we're trying to grow this little red thermometer up the screen. You'll see it's already started off there a little bit right now, but we're going to ask you to call in and make your donations. We want to try to get that little thermometer going up the screen there a little higher, all the way to the top by the end of our approximately 1 hour telethon tonight. And when you give a donation tonight, please know that Sat7 Canada is a Canadian registered charity. We're privileged and honored to be governed by a Canadian board of directors, and all of them are watching tonight. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. Hani Bagassian, our board chair, is on watching tonight, as well as so many of the other board members and other committee members. So we thank them for their support and partnership. But we want to challenge you tonight to give us a call and make a donation to help meet our goal tonight, to help further the work of Sat7 in the Middle East, broadcasting 24 hours a day to some 25 countries in the Middle East and North Africa with truly amazing programming. And so we have some ladies in our office right now that are there to take your calls, answer your questions. You can give us a call toll free at our 1-800 number. It's 1-877-349-7772. Or if you'd prefer, you can go to our website tonight to make a donation. And that is sat7canada.org. And we want to challenge you also to consider joining, not just giving a one-time gift tonight, but to consider joining as a monthly partner. For as little as $25 a month. You can impact as many as 300 viewers in the Middle East per month to have free Christian 24-hour satellite broadcasting in their country that they live in. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the results of what Sat7's doing. But as we start off tonight, we're going to hear from a whole bunch of different people tonight. Later on in the program, we're going to be hearing from Dr. Terry Ascott, who is the founder of Sat7. But right now, we're going to hear from our global CEO, headquartered in Nicosia, Cyprus. Her name is Rita Almoy-Nair. And this is part one of two little videos that she's prepared, and we hope you enjoy it. Rita Almoy-Nair.
Warm greetings to you all in Canada. It is wonderful to be able to speak to you today. I hope that you and your families are well. 2 years into the pandemic, it's still not an easy time for anyone. I do hope that by hearing about our ministry at Sat7, you will feel encouraged. Before I share more about our viewers, our goals, and our ministry, I want to share a little bit of my own story. I have spent the last 25 years working for Sat7, first as a children TV presenter, and now speaking to you as our Chief Executive Officer. What motivates me? Well, I was once like many of SAT7 young viewers today. All I remember of my own childhood is insecurity, fear, and death as I grew up during the dark days of the civil war in Lebanon. I lost my mother at the age of 7 and was terrified of losing my father as well. SAT7 aims to share his message of hope and to make God's love visible to everyone across the Middle East and North Africa. The people of this region are so thirsty to know Him more, to love Him more through all that they have endured. And I know how their lives can be transformed through Him. SAT7 shares the good news with 25 million viewers in 25 countries. We broadcast on 4 satellite channels in 3 languages, Turkish, Arabic, and Persian, with a wide range of high-quality programs for everyone, including our dedicated Arabic channel for children, SAT7 Kids. It was God's love that made the difference for me as a child, and sowing seeds with our younger viewers across all channels is what will bring change to this region.
Well, thank you, Rita. Rita's going to be back with us in just a few minutes for part 2 of her opening message tonight. SAT7's impact is continuing to grow in amazing ways, especially in the middle of the pandemic, all over the Middle East and North Africa, truly impacting thousands and thousands of lives and family, particularly in closed countries. And so with those thoughts, Mark, going to throw it over to you for some opening thoughts about SAT7 and its work that it does.
All right, so SAT7 broadcasts 4 channels, and they're SAT7 Arabic, SAT7 Pars, which is our Persian channel, SAT7 Turk, and also SAT7 Kids. And these broadcast into 25 countries in the native languages, and the programming is made by Middle Easterners for Middle Easterners. And that's one of the reasons why the impact has been so strong in these days. I want to tell you a little bit about the audience engagement that's been happening during the pandemic. We've seen a huge increase. Actually, SAT7 has more than 25 million regular viewers, and in the period of the pandemic, we've had nearly 400,000 viewer contacts in 2020. People just reaching out through various means. And that tells us that people are longing for connection, and they're longing for hope, and they're seeking it out. And those nearly 400,000 contacts in 2020 basically means that more than 1,000 people a day are reaching out to SAT7 through various different ways. So if we just go to that next slide, we also, some good things that have happened is because of all the contact we've been getting, we've been launching a number of social media channels. There's been a women's channel and a youth channel, and various others as a response to the number of contacts that we have been receiving. And SAT7 has also been striving to become a true multi-platform media ministry by launching our online streaming service called SAT7 Plus, which just launched this year. It's basically our version of Netflix or whatever other streaming service, except all the programming is SAT7 programming. And that means anybody who has access online can access these services. Back over to you, George.
All righty. Thank you, Mark. Some great opening thoughts. And we want to encourage you to give us a call to make a donation tonight, 1-877-349-7772, or on our website, and help us get that thermometer all the way to the top tonight. And also, if you want to be included in our draw for these little Echo Dot speakers that we're going to be giving away tonight, You'll see them there. And if I can get it turned the right way, we're going to be giving those away tonight, and 3 of those. So if you want to be included in that draw for 3 of those giveaways tonight, generously donated to Sat7, then be sure to enter your comments or questions in the chat box of the YouTube channel tonight. Right now, we're going to hear from our founder, our international founder, Dr. Terry Ascott, a great British fellow that God, he listened to the call of God on his heart and founded this amazing satellite broadcasting ministry 25 years ago. They're headquartered in Nicosia, Cyprus. So we're going to hear some opening thoughts from Dr. Terry Ascott.
Did you know that the fastest growing church in the world today is in Iran? Really? The Islamic Republic of Iran? Yes! Like many other countries in the region, the years of war and hatred, with Muslims killing Muslims in the name of their common God, has turned many from the religion of their leaders. Some have become atheists or deists. Some have turned to ancient beliefs such as Zoroastrianism, but many have also been attracted to Jesus as a radical preacher of God's love, a teacher of forgiveness and reconciliation, breaking the culture of an eye for an eye that is so prevalent in the region. In an era of hopelessness, the Christian message brings hope, and people are responding to it. Want to know more? Then please get a copy of my book, Dare to Believe, available from Amazon as a printed book or a Kindle download.
All righty, some great opening comments from Dr. Terry. And Mark, over to you about how can people get a copy of Dr. Terry's new book?
Okay, well, I've got a copy right here. It's called Dare to Believe. I've been reading this book. It's a fantastic book that tells the story of Sat7, how it got started, and a number of lives that have been changed in the Middle East. Dr. Terry is a great storyteller. And if you give more than $100 this evening, we will send you a copy of the book. Also, if you join tonight as a new monthly partner, we will also send you a copy of this book. And we would love to share this with you. It's just such a great resource. And it's always so great to hear the origin story of how a ministry started and how God plants a dream in someone's heart that eventually grows into something that's having such an impact. So yeah, so if you give a gift of $100 or more tonight, we'll send you a copy of this book. And also, if you join as a monthly partner, we'll send you a copy as well.
All righty, thank you, Mark. Many supporters of Sat7, and of course in the news, we've been reading a lot about Afghanistan and the tragedy of the ongoing story of what's been going on in the country, Afghanistan. And of course, many people in Afghanistan and in the Middle East still have good old-fashioned satellite dishes to be able to receive inspirational videos from Sat7 in their native language of Dari, Farsi, and of course in other countries, Arabic and what have you, Turkish. But right now, we're going to learn a little bit more about what God is doing through the work of Sat7 in the country of Afghanistan right now. And so we hope you enjoy this little short video on our work in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, a country making steady progress and developing on multiple fronts for 20 years. All of it now undone in just a few short weeks. In August, Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, endangering Christians and other minorities, removing hard-won freedoms from women and girls, and sending shockwaves across the world. For 2 decades, women in Afghanistan fought hard to establish their position in society, becoming teachers, doctors, and lawyers. But in a very short time, women have lost employment and young girls are no longer permitted to attend school. Yet, amidst great turmoil, stories of hope are emerging. In their darkest times, our viewers in Afghanistan are reaching out to Sat7 like family. Our programs and teams have become a source of comfort to the isolated, a listening ear, and a counselor to the distressed and troubled. One viewer in Afghanistan writes, "I don't fear for my own life because I laid my life down for the name of Jesus Christ, but I have also put my family in grave danger." Despite the danger for viewers in Afghanistan if they are caught contacting SAT7, they continue to reach out, wanting to make sure their voices are heard or just wanting to hear a reassuring and kind voice. This humbling reminder motivates us to ensure that the message of God's love and His hope continues to be broadcast on all our programs. There is hope for Afghanistan. God is still changing lives there, and His story is still being written. Please pray that God will strengthen His church to endure and to be a light of faith, love, and forgiveness.
All righty, amazing insights there. We're going to learn more about it just in a few moments. Actual viewer testimony from Afghanistan that recently came in. And often to protect identities of people, we change names just to protect them for their safety and security. And sometimes faces have been changed as well to protect them, but the content is 100% accurate. And so with those thoughts, we want to thank some of you that have already sent in donations over our website and a few phone calls as well. We have viewers right now from Quebec, Alberta, Ontario, all different parts of the country. We want to thank you for tuning in tonight. And you're seeing that thermometer starting to climb up. And so we want to thank you for your donations and give us a call. We'd love to hear from you tonight. 1-877-349-7772. We have ladies in the office there to take your call. Have your credit card ready if you'd like to give a donation tonight. And remember that if you give a gift of $100 or more tonight, we'll be glad to send you a free copy as our token of appreciation for your support of SAT7 of Dr. Terry's book, Only Believe. Alrighty, and you can go and give through our website tonight at sat7canada.org. The other thing we want to remind you tonight is be sure to enter your comments in the chat box there of YouTube on the side of your screen, and the ladies will take note of your names, and there'll be two of you tonight that'll be lucky winners of our giveaways of our Echo Dot speakers tonight. And so with that, I'm going to throw it over to Mark, and he's going to talk about some viewer testimonies from Afghanistan.
Thanks, George. One of the privileges that I have as Director of External Relations with SAT7 is I get a chance to read a number of the testimonies that come in on a regular basis. And the news out of Afghanistan indeed has been tragic since August, with the Taliban taking over the country. And there have been so many viewers that have been regularly writing in. There's been some very heart-breaking messages and a number of heartfelt messages. But I'm reminded of that verse that we are usually using at this time of year during Advent, which is the people in darkness have seen a great light. And there's such encouraging news coming out of Afghanistan. I wish I could share a bunch of stories, but I just want to highlight two that have come in real quickly. There's one young woman who wrote in and said, "My patience and endurance have increased. And when I remember and call in the name of Jesus, I find peace in my being. I have discovered that I am now gradually able to resist hopelessness and negative thoughts by standing in the name of Jesus." What a story of endurance in the midst of troubled times. And there's a young man who also emailed in, and this is what he had to say. "I've watched your TV show for a couple of months, and I really like what you are teaching. I want to become like you." We are regularly receiving these types of testimonies. So we would ask, please continue to pray for the people of Afghanistan as they're enduring such difficult times, socially, politically, and economically. Back over to you, George.
All right, thanks, Mark. And with those thoughts, we have a great little testimony we want to show you right now. This is Shaheen's story. We hope you enjoy it.
I live in one of the provinces in Afghanistan that is under the control of extremists. By watching your programs, I came to know about Christianity. This caused me to become conflicted and ask, what is the truth? Christianity or something else? I was tired and heartbroken by the lies and unrighteousness I see around me. But more importantly, I questioned why it is that people are denied freedom of thought and self-determination. Now I have a deep sense of peace and I feel so light. I feel so happy that I am on the verge of tears. I no longer fear being killed by anyone because I'm certain of my salvation.
Wow, a truly amazing testimonial and for that young man. And that's just one of literally thousands that are contacting our discreet call centers through online communications and other means that still protects their identity. But our audience relations people have just been flooded with calls month in, month out throughout the pandemic, and of course, in the middle of the Afghan crisis, and continue to be today. That's why we need to support them. And your donation is going to achieve a lot of wonderful things there in the Middle East. Mark is going to talk about that in a moment. But before we do, we're glad to announce our first winner tonight. First draw tonight will be going out to Dr. Terry's new book. Very few copies just arriving now in Canada recently. Dr. Terry Ascott's book, founder of SAT7. And that book is going out to you, Florence. Thank you for contacting us, and you'll be receiving that in the next couple of weeks from our office here in Ontario. And so we want to thank you for your support. We want to thank you for watching tonight, and we want to thank you for our generous donations that have been coming in from donors across Canada. So many of you have left online comments, and we really want to appreciate it. People from Edmonton to Halifax and all across the country. So we really appreciate your comments. We thank you for participating and watching tonight. And with those thoughts, I'm going to turn it over to Mark for a little bit of an inside view about what your donation will achieve through the work of SAT7 in Canada and the Middle East. Mark, over to you.
It's always natural to ask, what is my donation going to go towards? What is it going to achieve? Well, the wonderful thing with SAT7 is for every dollar you give, it provides one viewer programming for an entire year. So a $50 gift provides 50 viewers with programming for an entire year, and $100 will provide 100, and so on. So you can know that for every single dollar that you give this evening or at any time with SAT7, it's going to transfer into one viewer being able to watch SAT7 programming. And that multiplies if you become a monthly partner. So the impact of that can be even greater. By giving $25 a month as a monthly partner, it'll mean 300 viewers will have programming for an entire year. And for $50 a month, it'll be 600. For $100 a month, it's 1,200. And you can do the math, so on and so on. But it's always great to know that even just $1 can make a difference in one person's life. One other final thing we want to show you and tell you about tonight, if we just go to that next slide, is there not a second? Okay, there we go. Sorry, is our Canadian programs. These are programs that SAT7 International is producing, and we are specifically helping fund as a Canadian office, there's two things that we are really feeling strongly about investing in. One is investing in the next generation, recognizing that the transformation of people and culture in the Middle East really begins with children and youth. And so we're investing in a lot of children's programming and teenagers programming, and also in women's programming, making sure that women have programs where they're able to know what their identity in Christ is, and how they can live in the midst of what are some very, very difficult circumstances for women and girls. And so these are specific ways in which we as Canada are committed to impacting lives in the Middle East. So at any time, you can specifically give towards those things as well. Back over to you, George.
All righty, thank you, Mark. And by the way, if you'd like to know more about funding, giving a designated donation of $1,000 or more dedicated to one of these two programs, we're subject to Canada Revenue Agency regulations concerning programs in the Middle East, but we'd be happy to talk to you about your interest in funding one of these two programs. Feel free to give Mark Kitzman or myself, George Glover, a call anytime. We'd be glad to discuss it with you. If you're interested in having us come and speak at your church, we do get around the country from time to time, and so feel free to give us a call. And tonight, help us get to our goal. We've had some donations come in. Thank you to those donors tonight. One for $700 from Western Canada, one from the East here for $100. So our thermometer on the screen is continuing to work its way up toward our goal tonight. And I want to encourage you also maybe to leave some, not only comments, but maybe you have some questions about our work. Our producers in the background there, Desiree and some of the others, will get those questions over to you if you have them. Leave them in the chat box of YouTube, and we'll do our best to answer your questions tonight. Well, we're live streamed here at our virtual gala telethon. And with those thoughts, we're going to now hear part two from our global CEO, Rita L. Moynier, and we hope you enjoy part two of her presentation.
It is so encouraging to know that right now in Afghanistan, children are managing to watch our Persian children's programs. They have told us how, in all their upheaval and loss, hearing hope-filled Bible stories make them happy and helps them know they have a friend, that they are not alone. In Lebanon, children from different sectarian communities are coming together in a groundbreaking project called Lebanon, Our Story. They are sharing their stories and telling their communities they can work together to build a new story for Lebanon. And our SAT7 Academy educational programming is making the difference for the millions of children in the Arab world who remain out of school. We know this because parents like Rinalda, an Iraqi refugee mother who contacted us, tell us so. Rinalda recently shared that even though her 9-year-old daughter Yara missed years of schooling before her family fled to Lebanon, she has not fallen behind thanks to our flagship education program, My School. She has been watching the My School program since we were in Iraq, and this is why she is excelling, say the mother. She has already learned from My School all the topics she is studying at school, and she finds them very easy thanks to you. This fall, My School is also being used in an intensive learning program for Syrian refugees in Lebanon, aged 6 to 11, aimed to help children who have never attended school prepare to attend. For women, our programs give positive messages about learning to love and value themselves despite oppression. We witness these seeds growing and hear from viewers again and again how our programs help them find growth and fulfillment. such a female viewer from Upper Egypt who shared, saying, "Your program encourages me to seek help and to make my life better. You made me believe that maybe my life can change. Maybe I really can achieve something that my daughter will one day see." We reach viewers like these mainly through the power of satellite television, which bypasses government censorship and sidesteps the challenge of illiteracy. But excitingly now, 25 years since Sat7 began, we are a multi-platform media ministry. Why is this exciting? Because it means that people who need God can turn in multiple directions and find Him in each one. And this need is only more urgent as this year comes to an end. Afghanistan has fallen to the Taliban. Lebanon is in deep crisis. Other crises have fallen from the headlines: Yemen, Syria, the Holy Land, Libya, the region-wide effects of COVID-19 and economic crisis. But this region can change. If the children and youth of today can learn that love, His love, is greater than all the violence and hatred they have witnessed, and if we keep our commitment to continue showing people of all ages what one of our young Iranian viewers shared recently, that through Him, even the impossible is possible. To be able to do this, we need prayer, partnership, and support. We are a partnership ministry. We are uplifted every day by prayers of our faithful supporters, and we are able to grow and expand through the generous gifts of our friends. So please, keep the people, especially the children of the Middle East and North Africa, in your prayers. If you feel led, please reach out to your local Sat7 office to find out about volunteer opportunities. And please, give to support our ministry, knowing that every gift helps make God's love visible. Thank you for listening, dear friends, for your prayers and for your love for our region. Goodbye.
All righty. Thank you, Rita. Wow, some great thoughts as our global CEO leader, and we appreciate her taking time to speak those thoughts into the nation of Canada. And we want to thank you that have called in tonight. Some of you have given over our website. We really appreciate it. $50 from Western Canada, another one from Ontario for $250. And we want to thank that person also that just called in and said, "I want to join as a monthly partner for $50 a work to help sustain your work of Sat7 year round." And so we want to thank you for that. You're seeing on the side of your screen there that our little thermometer is continuing to work its way up the screen there. And so much for my little pointing finger, but you can see that thermometer help us get that red thermometer up the screen as well. I'm going the wrong way here, folks, but you get the idea. And so with those thoughts, I also want to mention to you, we have a winner tonight of the first draw of the Echo Dot speaker tonight. And congratulations to Gus. Make sure that we've got your full address and everything else, and we'll get this out to you as our token of appreciation for you participating and sending in your comments tonight. You're the lucky winner of this first Echo Dot cool little online speaker that is multifunctional, Generation 3, does a lot of cool stuff that you can hook up in your home. So congratulations, Gus, and congratulations to our first winner of the Echo Dot. We'll have another draw for the second Echo Dot later on in the program. And so give us a call tonight to make a donation. We ask the Lord what He would have you do to help further the work of Sat7. We have no expensive overhead here in our work in Canada, so the majority of your donations are going to help the work overseas. We don't have an office. We run it all virtually. We keep our costs low. And to help get the broadcasting out to those 4 languages in the Middle East. And the one thing I'll say about Sat7 is that the programming is absolutely quality. You can see it through our Sat7 Plus app that you can download. And you can see either Sat7 Arabic, Pars, Kids, or Turk broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week there to the Middle East. And you can receive it right here in Canada, courtesy of that online app. And so with those thoughts, I'm going to turn it over to Mark to talk about our next segment.
Thanks, George. If you're wondering about the sophisticatedness of the fingers and the thermometer and whatnot, if you want to know how long the program is going to be, as soon as George's bow tie starts to spin, it means things are winding down. So keep an eye out for that. Sorry, George, I couldn't help myself. It's a beautiful bow tie. It really is. Okay. Well, one of the things that we want to share with you tonight is actually some inspirational music from our Sat7 Arabic team. And I remember when I first watched this next video, really pay attention to the lyrics, because it's powerful to hear people, believers in Christ, singing about some of the challenges of what it means to be the church in the Middle East and how they have so much hope. We hope that this video will encourage you tonight and your faith as well.
يفصلنا عنك ده احنا فيك. الكنيسة مش بتخاف من الموت، دي كنيسة سماوية. الكنيسة بتصلي وتغفر وتحب تملي. الكنيسة مش بتخاف من الموت، دي كنيسة سماوية. الكنيسة بتصلي وتغفر وتحب تملي. يا رب نور العيون، يا رب افتح العقول، خلي محبتك تدوب قسوة القلوب. يا رب نور العيون، يا رب افتح العقول، خلي محبتك تدوب قسوة القلوب. حتى اضطهاد صريح. ما انت قلت زمان في العالم هيكون في ضيق، من ايه ممكن نخاف وانت معانا في الطريق.
ايه هيفصلنا عن محبة المسيح؟ شدة ولا ضيق أو حتى اضطهاد صريح. ما انت قلت زمان في العالم هيكون في ضيق، من ايه ممكن نخاف وانت معانا في الطريق.
الكنيسة مش بتخاف من الموت، دي كنيسة سماوية.
الكنيسة بتصلي وبتغفر وتحب تملي.
دي الكنيسة مش بتخاف من الموت،
دي كنيسة سماوية. الكنيسة بتصلي وبتغفر وتحب تملي. يا رب نور العيون، يا رب افتح العقول، خلي محبتك تدوب قسوة القلوب. يا رب نور العيون، يا رب افتح العقول، خلي محبتك تدوب.
Wow, beautifully done video. That's just an example of the quality of production that you're investing in through Canada, Sat7. Quality production going out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week throughout the Middle East. So when you make a donation tonight, and anytime between now and December 31st to get a tax receipt for this year's giving, to reduce your income taxes, know that your donation is not only going to help broadcast through satellites all over the Middle East region and North Africa, but also going into producing innovative, high quality, and culturally sensitive broadcasting to the Middle East region. So it's covering the cost of broadcasting and the production costs as well, produced in 3 or 4 studios in the region. And it's just well thought out and well produced all the way around. I think another way that you can get involved in the work of Sat7 Canada is tell people and your pastor, your church about the work of Sat7 Canada. As I said earlier, we'd love to come and speak to your men's group, your women's group, or your Sunday morning service. Pretty much anywhere in Canada. We're planning some of our speaking engagements across the country next year as we speak. So give us a call tonight if you'd like to make a donation at 1-877-349-7772. Want to thank you for another donation that was just called in at $250. That's helping our thermometer get further up to our goal tonight. And you can also give online through sat7canada.org. But we encourage you to pray for, if you believe that prayer really does change things, that we have a God that hears and answers prayer, then we ask you to pray for the persecuted believers, leaders, and Christians in general throughout closed countries in the Middle East and North Africa. I know that God will honor you for investing that time praying for those people and the difficulties that they face. And so with that, we're going to throw over to you, Mark, to introduce our next video segment, please.
Yeah, and just to build off of what George was saying, some of the challenges for Christians and for believers in the Middle East and just for women and girls are things that we can't even begin to fathom here in Canada. My oldest daughter just turned 12, and the next video we're going to watch is about an 11-year-old girl, and her story is such an impactful story. I remember the first time I saw this video, I was moved to tears as it really hit home, as I have 2 little girls. And so we hope that it would be both an encouragement to you and also that God would continue to speak to your own heart about how you can be part of changing the story for women and girls in the Middle East.
I always wondered if I had been raised somewhere else, if my life would have been different. My name is Elmira. Like most young girls, I dreamed about getting married one day. But I grew up in Iran, and things can be very different there. I can still remember to cry when my mother said I will not go to school any longer. By age 11, I was married. 11. I can still remember how his breath smelled of cigarettes, and how he would get angry if I cried. We could not afford much food, and I did not like my new home. For years, he kept me as a slave, selling my body so that he could buy drugs. So many years of abuse left me broken, numb. I got HIV. By age 15, I had 2 children. 2 children to be strong for, to be silent for. I felt like I was nothing, lost. I didn't know how anyone would reach me, but thank God I heard something to make me stronger. Thank God I can imagine a different life and a way out. I wish my life had been different, but what I heard on TV that day changed everything.
Wow, what an amazing video. And I like how it ended. Will you answer the cry? I think, folks, as you watch tonight, our vision is to see. Right now, I think Sat7 in Canada is probably one of the best kept secrets that we want to fix that. And we're asking you tonight to make a donation as we're on air tonight or afterward. This will be available on YouTube for the next 30 days. And anytime between now and December 31st, you can call us to make a donation. We want to thank you for ones that have called in just in the last few minutes. We received a donation from Ontario for $500 and another one for $550. And so we want to thank you for those calls, but we just want to encourage you tonight to make an investment in the work of Sat7 to grow and expand our work in the Middle East. And you can do that simply by giving us a call tonight. The ladies are there. Dedicated women that are there to answer your calls and questions about the work of Sat7. Have your credit card ready. Every gift will make a difference in lives. And of course, if you want to join as a monthly partner, $25 a month, $50 a month, or $100 a month, will help sustain our work year round through the work of Sat7, working here in Canada to help the broadcasting work and production work of Sat7 in the Middle East. So give us a call, 1-877-349-7772, or you can go to our website at sat7canada.org. And when you join as a monthly partner, here's what it achieves: $25 a month. For only $25 a month, you're going to help send the good news through Sat7 satellite programming, Christian programming, to 300 viewers per year there in the Middle East. Quality Christian programming, not only in the Middle East, but in North Africa. $50 a month will impact 600 viewers per year there in the Middle East. And of course, if you can give more generously in the next year and to do so tonight to start up, then consider giving $100 a month. $100 a month is going to impact 1,200 viewers per year through the work of Sat7 in the Middle East and North Africa. And so give us a call. The number again is 1-877-349-7772. Or you can do it on our website. You can give through our website tonight. Our website's being fully updated. It gives you all kinds of information about Sat7 and testimonials and all kinds of interesting stories there. You can go to sat7canada.org. And so with those thoughts, I want to thank you for the comment section. We're going to have a draw after Dr. Terry's message to us tonight. So sit tight. He's just an awe-inspiring fella that founded this work. And with those thoughts, I'm going to throw it over to Mark to introduce this next segment.
Yeah, just a reminder that if you want to participate in the draw, please make sure you've left a comment, and we'll have that final giveaway after we hear from Dr. Terry Ascott. I have just been really amazed as I've gotten to know more the story of Sat7 to hear its humble beginnings. So many ministries that grow and become larger, like Sat7 has. So many ministries start with very humble, small beginnings. And Sat7 is one of those stories about the dream planted, as you're going to hear from Dr. Terry tell his own story, in the heart of an individual who just wanted to obey what God had put on his heart. And it's amazing how when we act in obedience, God opens doors and he will grow things as he intends them to grow. So without any further ado, we want to throw it over to Dr. Terry Ascott to share with us for our keynote address.
Warm Christian greetings from Cyprus. I'm Terry Ascott, the founder of Sat7, a satellite television and online ministry in the Middle East. It would have been so good to be with you in person today, but such is life in the pandemic. I would like, however, to share with you some of my story and the way in which Sat7 started. I first went to the Middle East in the 1970s, initially to Lebanon, moving after 3 years to Egypt during the Lebanese Civil War. I lived in Cairo for 14 years before being deported, defending human rights. During my time in Egypt, I was mostly involved in Christian publishing and the launch of a monthly youth magazine, Gala, which was sold on the newsstands in a dozen Arab countries. And while this reached over 500,000 readers each month, this only represented 1 month's growth in the population of the Arab world at that time. It also did not reach the masses of people who were functionally illiterate, nor those in countries where government censorship prevented any Christian literature from entering. In the early 1980s, I had a moment of epiphany. I was walking home from my office one evening when I stopped to look at a poor family that lived literally on the side of the road. The man of the family was the guard for a building site right next to a high-rise where I lived. They had nothing but a few cooking utensils, a gas burner and a tarpaulin to keep the sun off during the day. But tonight was different. They were all huddled around a little black and white TV set wired into a sympathetic neighbor's power socket. I could hardly believe my eyes. This poor family living on the street had a TV set? I stood and stared, but they did not see me. Their eyes were glued on the silver screen. In the 1980s, the take-up of television was a major social phenomenon. Owning a TV set provided you with an endless source of free news and entertainment, a distraction from the grinding poverty many lived in, and it kept the kids off the street. I left the family feeling challenged by the thought that if we were ever going to impact a wider audience with the gospel in the Middle East, we could not ignore the power and reach of television, especially if we wanted to reach the illiterate, women, children, and those in otherwise closed societies. But of course, at that time, all television services were government controlled, and so we would have to begin with very low-key Christian content if we wanted to see any of our programs on such networks, which is what we began to do. But in 1986, the first Arab satellite was launched, a satellite capable of broadcasting television programs direct to any homes that had a satellite dish. But there were no such homes in the Arab world at that time, and Arabsat 1A was used, well, never used for that purpose. But by 1991, NBC, the first Arabic satellite news channel, started broadcasting, and by then I was convinced that we needed to take advantage of the amazing potential of this media, one which would allow us to go uncensored into millions of homes, homes where no Christian witness had entered before. As I shared the vision for an Arabic Christian satellite television service with church leaders in the region, I got a lot of pushback and skepticism. Firstly, they feared the international model of Christian television, where airtime was sold mostly to Western ministries, most of whom were unaware of the political, cultural and religious sensitivities of the region. And then they feared that any such service would be jammed by Arab governments, or that people would be afraid to go in front of the camera. After all, this was not Christian radio, where people did not need to show their faces. Over a period of 3 years, I traveled to meet church and mission leaders across the Middle East, and we developed an agreed model for the ownership of such a service, one that would ensure that control of the channel would remain in the hands of Middle Easterners. And we thrashed out a program policy which would ensure that the channel would not sell its airtime, but instead provide a platform for the church in the Middle East to speak into their own societies in their own languages and without foreign cultural baggage. After all, Christianity was birthed in the Middle East, and we did not want Christianity to now look like a foreign import to our viewers. By 1995, a partnership of agencies and churches was formed, and we went on air on the 31st of May 1996. But with only 2 hours a week of programs, such were the challenges of making programs with few staff, little experience and little cash. It was not until almost 5 years later that we became a 24-hour-a-day channel. Gradually, Farsi or Persian programs were introduced into the schedule, then Turkish programs, and each of these programming blocks eventually became 24-hour-per-day channels in their own languages for Iran and Afghanistan and for Turkey. Sat7 Kids, a 24/7 Arabic children's channel, was also launched in 2007, encouraged by the overwhelmingly positive responses to the children's programming, especially from Muslim parents, who would frequently say to us, this was the only channel that they could trust their children with. Here, they knew that their children would learn good values, good behavior, and not be exposed to radical Islamic or extremist ideas. At one point, according to an independent market research conducted just before the rise of ISIS in 2014, we had over 2 million children watching the channel in Iraq alone. The exciting story of Sat7's beginnings and the first 25 years is told in my new book, Dare to Believe. The book also shares many inspiring stories of the work and witness of Christians from the region, including the Arab world, Iran, Afghanistan, and Turkey. Some of these believers paid the ultimate price for their faith in Christ. And while there are many, many stories in the book, perhaps I can just share one with you today. 6 months after ISIS took over much of Iraq, and a few days before Christmas, a team from Sat7 Kids went to visit displaced Iraqi Christians now living in tents and occupied buildings in the Kurdish region of northern Iraq. After several days filming there, they decided to try and visit a Yazidi displacement camp. Yazidis are a Kurdish subgroup which most Muslims consider to be non-Muslim, so they became the Islamic State's special focus for a genocide. And this is how the rest of the story is narrated in the book. As the Sat7 Kids presenter Issam and his cameraman approached the camp gate, a guard stopped them. "Do you have a permit to film?" he asked. "No," Issam replied. "Then you cannot enter. We're tired of people coming here and filming our misery and then going away, and nothing changes. Anyway, which network are you with?" "I'm with Sat7, the host of a children's program," Issam began to explain. "Oh, Sat7 Kids," the man said, his eyes lighting up. "You can come in." The Yazidi encampment was very poor and dirty in comparison to the situation in which the displaced Christians were living. As they entered the muddy camp, some of the children immediately recognized Issam, or Mr. No, as they knew him from his weekly program, which they had watched every Friday before losing their homes. Soon he had a small crowd of kids around him, all wanting to be filmed. 3 young girls came forward saying they knew a song from Sat7 Kids and wanted to sing it to camera. They sang from memory the Arabic version of Jesus Loves Me. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so, and so on. Issam's heart burst with love for these children as he listened to them sing and recite scripture they'd learnt from songs and programs on Sat7 Kids. God had led Issam to this land for a purpose, part of which Issam now knew was to show him that our work was making a difference in the lives of children, a difference that we believe will stay with them for the rest of their lives. But what of the future for Sat7? We live in an era of increasing rates of change, of unprecedented chaos and misery in the Middle East, in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq and Libya, and even in Lebanon and Palestine. People are disillusioned with their leaders and their religion. They're searching, and we have never had so many responses to our broadcasts and social media before. At the same time, the coming years will bring many technological developments in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, neurotechnologies, the connection of things through 5G networks, virtual reality, and so on. Many of these changes will raise new ethical and social concerns, but some will open new doors for those in so-called closed countries, better enabling millions to hear and to respond to the gospel. We want to be there with new digital media approaches, and we've just been given an award for our new Sat7 Plus online streaming and on-demand platform. Whatever the future, the mission of Sat7 remains the same: to make the gospel available to all in the Middle East and North Africa, and to support the church in the region, in their life, in their work and witness for our Lord. Thank you for letting me share with you today. As you're watching tonight, can I challenge you to pick up the phone and call us, or go to our website now to give a gift to further our work in the Middle East? You'll see the number and the website on the screen now. Even small gifts will make a difference, helping us share the good news in this strategic part of the world. Also, if you'd like to know more about some of the special projects we're undertaking right now, you can call or email George or Mark, and they'll be happy to answer your questions and provide more information. Please know that every gift will be stewarded wisely by our Canadian Board of Directors. Thank you for giving generously tonight. God bless you.
Alrighty, wow, wonderful inspirational message by our founder, Dr. Terry Ascott. We hope you enjoyed that. And with that, we're coming to the close of our evening. You're seeing our little red thermometer is inching its way up. We want to thank you for some calls we've been receiving. One gift came in for $200, another one for $100, and we want to thank another brother in the Lord, $25 a month, signed up to partner with us year end. So thanks to those of you that have called in with one-time donations. And as we get ready to go off the air tonight, we want to also announce our last winner of this evening of the Echo Dot speaker is going out to Vern and Hilda. We want to thank you for participating tonight. Thank you for your comments. And I believe we have your address now, so we'll be sending this out to you in the next couple of weeks as a small gift of appreciation for your support tonight, and for the work of Sat7 Canada for supporting it as well. And one of our viewers wrote in tonight and asked about our overhead costs, and our goal always year in, year out is to try to keep our overhead costs to less than 20% per year. And so that the majority of every donation dollar that comes in the door, so that the majority of it can go directly to the work of broadcasting 24 hours a day, and also producing quality Christian program to the Middle East and North Africa. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about our financial picture as an organization, we're not a big ministry in Canada. We want to grow larger, but we do have audited financial statements. Our board of directors is online watching the telecast tonight. And all of us are available to answer your questions about the work of SAT7. Just give us a call or send us an email through our website, and we'll be glad to return your call and answer any questions that you have. But thank you so much for participating and joining with us tonight. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Mark Kitzman, our Director of External Relations. Mark, some other closing thoughts before we sign off tonight.
Thanks, George. I just want to remind you of a couple of opportunities that you have to remain connected with SAT7 Canada if you're not already connected with these different opportunities. Number one is being connected with our weekly e-blast. Every week we send out an email, usually on Saturday morning, that shares about the work of SAT7. And we are not using this to inundate you with asks to give, but rather this is opportunities for you to stay informed with the news that's coming out of the Middle East and the ways in which SAT7 is responding. So really, it's more of a news update for the most part. There are times when we may encourage you or ask you to give in response of a specific need, but really, it's a great way for you to stay informed about what's happening in the Middle East and how SAT7 is responding. So I would encourage you to go to our website at sat7canada.org, sign up for our weekly e-news, e-blast. I believe it's called e-blast, and then that will be a way in which you can stay in touch. As George mentioned earlier, we would love to come and visit your church, and whether that be a men's and women's group or a missions group or sharing in your Sunday morning service about the work of SAT7, I would love the opportunity to visit your church at any time and do that. So look for those opportunities, or if you have another idea that you would like to seek us out about, you can contact me or George at any time to talk about those things. Before we wrap up, I just want to take an opportunity to thank the team, the SAT7 Canada team, for putting on this program. There's a lot of work that has gone into tonight. It's, of course, a lot of it behind the scenes, and even the fellow David, who's helping us broadcast tonight, and his team. So just want to reach out to say thank you so much. I want to thank those of you who have partnered with us tonight, and those of you who are long-term partners. We do not just take this for granted. You have chosen to take what the Lord has blessed you with, and then you have blessed us with it, so that we in turn can bless others with good news of salvation and hope in the Middle East. So thank you so much. And just know that indeed, any contribution you're making, whether it be through gift or through prayer, is making a difference. Lives are changing. The story in the Middle East is changing, and you are part of that. So thank you so much, and may you just continue to partner with us so that we'll see more and more lives change, and we'll be able to have another virtual gala a year from now with even more stories of transformation and change. So thank you so much for taking an hour of your time to tune in with us tonight.
All right, well said, Mark. And everybody, we want to thank you, each one of you, for joining with us tonight. This program has been recorded and will be available through our website for the next 30 days. So feel free to share it with your friends and tell more people about the work of SAT7 and the great impact that it's having in the Middle East and North Africa. We need your support. We need your prayers. And if you think you can open some doors to grow our funding base in Canada, or have some innovative ideas, we'd love to hear from you. We're available if you want to give a donation as we get ready to go off the air tonight. There are ladies going to be in the office for the next few minutes. 1-877-349-7772. Give us a call. Help us get that red thermometer. It's almost at the top. Help us get it to all the way to the top tonight to finish off with a big bang. We're going to go, as we close out tonight, to a post roll of a lot of great behind the scenes photos that have been taken by our staff around the world. We hope you enjoy it. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your investment. Thank you for your prayers and support. We appreciate it so much. Thank you also to our board of directors here in Canada that serve selflessly, our very dedicated volunteers to provide governance oversight to the work of SAT7 Canada. Thank you again, everybody. On behalf of myself, Mark Hitzman, the team behind the scenes, our board of directors, good night, and God bless you, each one.